Hi, Damien here for Automotive Superstore. This time we've got Grundig's GX3900 doubled-in CarPlay and Android Auto head unit. Now it joins their GX3800, at least for now, at the entry-level price point. They look identical between the two, but they are quite different in some of their features. So let's jump in and have a look at the 3900, and I'll show you how it differs from the 3800 and maybe which one you should choose. So let's jump in with the features first. So 6.8-inch capacitive touchscreen, native resolution 1024 by 600. I have tested this with MP4s up to 1080p in resolution, and they work absolutely fine and they play back seamlessly. So you can play higher resolution than what's stated in the manual for this one. I also found the unit could play back high resolution files up to 9624 in both FLAC and WAV. It also has wired and wireless CarPlay and Android Auto and wireless smartphone mirroring for both of those types of phones, which is pretty rare in this low price point. There's dual phone Bluetooth connectivity. It has a single USB on the rear that's 2.1 amps of charging. It has front, rear and a single subwoofer RCA pre-out 4 volts RMS, and the internal powered amplifier in this one 22 watts RMS by 4. Now let's talk about the fundamental differences between the 3900 and 3800 in case you were shopping and you saw them and went, well, what's the difference between the two? First of all, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android, wireless smartphone mirroring. The 3800, it's wired only. It does all those three things, but wired only. So that's a big deal. USB charging on this one is 2.1 amps, as I said before. The 3800, it's only 1.5 amps, so that's also a handy feature to have. 3800 does have an auxiliary input for a video source, or you could use it for an audio source, just the yellow, red and white RCA inputs on the rear of the chassis. The 3900 doesn't have that, but it replaces it with something that may be cooler and handier for most people. It has 4 camera inputs, so your standard rear, but also front, left and right. And if you've got a truck or a caravan or something like that and you really need those extra cameras and you're on a tight budget, this is going to be your go-to unit because it's got those included. I don't think there's any unit on the market close in price that gives you 4 camera inputs. The signal processing's more or less the same between the two. The 3800 has something called tweeter shelving adjustment that I've shown in that video for that product. This one, they've taken that out for whatever reason. The menus are slightly different in design, but really they work the same way. So fundamentally, they're kind of the same unit apart from these key features. Now in the box besides the unit, you get a cage. That's for mounting in certain types of vehicles, older vehicles for sure. There are 2 keys to unlock it from that cage. This is a fascia surround. You may or may not need that for your specific installation. There's a full owner's manual. The harness is interesting. The prime model of the GX3800 had direct ISO connection, and that was nice because it saved you having to buy an ISO connector for this for your vehicle. It might save you $20, $25. This one actually comes with 2 wiring harnesses, so you can see that's a proprietary harness there. It just goes to open leads if you want to hardwire that into an older car, for example. But there's a second lead as well that goes from that to ISO, so you've still got that convenience of saving money, but you can also hardwire it with a second loom if you like. Of course, there's your Bluetooth microphone for the dual phone Bluetooth. So first of all, here is Android Auto. Get you access to your most common applications. For searching those, you just scroll up and down. Alternatively, in CarPlay for Apple phones, you scroll left and right. You've got access to your music, obviously, that's on your phone, all your important apps for communication, navigation, things like that. Hit the home button to come back to the main menu. In the menu system here, we've got access to all of our sources. If we hit settings, let's start with general setup. Here's things like beep tones, set the language, your time, your dimmer, stuff like that. You can also set driver configuration between left or right priority. It'll change some of the menus to be closer to you. You can also turn on and off the logo at the start. Here you can set up your steering wheel controls as a custom setup if you need to. Your parking guidelines are in this menu system here. You can turn those on and off. In wallpaper, you've got 4 to choose from their preset menu. Alternatively, via their Mirror app link, you can actually add your own wallpapers. The GPS setup system allows you to calibrate to get more accurate navigation. Here in smartphone, you can set up your multiple devices. Like I said, this can connect to 2 smartphones simultaneously. All right, across into EQ. Here there are a host of preset EQs to choose from. Now in X Bass, you've got a choice of bass boost. You can see the screen shows you a little graphic of what it does. Or you've got the loudness function. Or in fact, you can use both of these at the same time, though I wouldn't necessarily recommend you do that. Then there's something called virtual subwoofer. Now this turns the rear outputs, either powered or RCA, into a low pass so that you can run them, say, as a fake subwoofer in your car, and sometimes that'll work great. You can also adjust the frequency and slope, so you can adjust from 250 Hz down to 30 Hz as your low pass, as shallow as 6 or as steep as 24 dB per octave for your slope, and you can adjust the level here. And the level, importantly, can go above 0, so you can have this level set higher than normal. In time alignment, you can obviously control either delay or the level for each individual channel. That's really important. Now into crossover. Here we control the filters for the front, rear and subwoofer output. You can turn each output on. You can select the slope, the level, and the frequency of each channel. The filter frequencies are between 30 Hz and 250 for all channels, and the slopes are 6, 12, 18 or 24 dB per octave. And what's interesting here is you can see the subwoofer output can be set for full range. That kind of matters because this head unit doesn't actually have an independent subwoofer level control like you would find on most units. That means there's a bit of a workaround for that. You can actually use the virtual subwoofer and use its level control, and then you can connect the RCA outputs to go to your mono amplifier from the rear RCA channels. That's a bit of a workaround for it, and then you can potentially use the subwoofer mono outputs, a single output, to run your rear fill in full range mode. Here's the fader and balance. But you also have audio zone. And so you can just select an area of the car. I don't know whether this also does any time alignment because it doesn't say in the manual. Finally, source gain. Another really handy function that allows you to vary the base level of all of your sources, so when you jump between sources, there's no big jump in output. And so that's Grundig's GX3900, a nice upgrade from the 3800, difference being the wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, wireless smartphone mirroring, higher charging from the USB, and those 4 camera inputs. If you want to grab one, there'll be a link down below. While you're there, like and subscribe as always, and I will see you next time.